TGC Requiem, we are back with Grixis Shadow. We're not really having a particularly great night. Things are not going well for us. Part of that's probably pilot, but I actually am okay with keeping this. We're going to get access to 3 draws. So worst case, if we don't hit anything, so we're going to, worst case, just start out with a Thoughtseize. Actually, probably going to start out with a Thoughtseize either way. And then based on what we see from our opponent, we may or may not Street Wraith. So it looks like Esper control. Destroy target enchantment, draw 2 cards, target player discards 2 cards. So you can definitely get to a Tasigur. I think we just take the Tasigur here. It's the card we're going to have the most trouble beating. So we are going to go for the odd blue-red here. Don't know that we care a whole lot about the spot removal, considering it looks like he's just going to be trying to put lots of souls in the graveyard, or lots of souls on the battlefield. We could Wraith, Angler. That just gets pathed. So now if we play Gurmag Angler, we'll be able to Stubborn Denial the path the next turn. So we're a little more confident trying to stick the Angler knowing that. Unfortunately, he's going to get a Lingering Souls on turn 2. Played the Marsh Flats over the Delta, which is interesting. And I think we're just going to try and keep the Serum Visions on top there. I kind of hope he holds back a I guess, yeah. Alright, Serum Vision, so he's going to have to go for Lingering Souls. I'm assuming he probably just attacks with both here anyway. We do have a little bit of removal to kind of clear the path, but we're definitely going to want to bring Anger in post-board against this opponent. We actually are going to get to Stubborn, Push, Bolt. So we'll actually get to Stubborn his Lingering Souls and Push Bolt, the two that he has on the battlefield. That's pretty great. And now with him only having 2 left, we're going to potentially get away with something here. So he's going to play 2 Lingering Souls, but he's going to have to chump block with both of them. So a good chance he goes for Esper Charm to draw 2 cards, and... no, what's he doing? Ah, Verdict. Brutal. Well, we know he's definitely a control player, not just a tokens player. So here comes the... oh, Ashiok, yes. We're really almost looking for lightning bolts at this point. Don't know that we really want Stubborn Denial now. So I suppose he could downtick to play the Snapcaster, Path to Exile to get rid of Tasigur. It's a pretty good line. Also going to be a Lingering Souls. That probably will just knock us right out of the game. Yeah, so he's going to snap into Path here. Path the Tasigur. Probably something I could have considered before I had decided to let the Watery Grave come in tapped. Because it is possible that I would have gotten like a lightning bolt out of the deal. Used a path. Yeah. And then, yep, Lingering Souls. So we are going to finally thin out here. This doesn't really make a difference now, unfortunately. Maybe it makes a difference. Let's see, exile gone away here. Doesn't matter, he has a fatal push. And that should be it. Let's just see if we can get a peek at what else is in his hand. Well, I guess we know it's still the Esper Charm, right? Alright, so we'll get a nice turn 9 loss there. Ashiok is no good. As much as I love Ashiok, it never pans out. Alright, so grindy deck. So we're definitely bringing Anger because tokens are a pain for us. We probably are going to go for the grind. Well, see, the problem with the grindy approach against path decks is just that. The path exiles them, and so looping isn't always going to be very effective. Liliana absolutely coming in. Stubborn, based on what we saw. All of these, except we probably don't need the push. Collective Brutalities could come in. It's probably safe to assume they're running some man land, so it might be worth keeping the pushes in, although at this point it's probably better just to have the Lightning Bolts. Thought Scours are going to be a bit unnecessary. Long matches, you don't need too many Street Race. I'm definitely good to shave one of those. Again, I think Kolaghan's 2 should be fine, considering there may not be so many creatures to recur anyhow. We also don't want too many top decks. I think just shaving down to 3 hand disruption seems about right. And again, I probably should shave a land. I just need to get better at catching that. And I guess I actually left 61 cards in my deck. That was a mistake. I think I'm good with this. Fulminator Mages are pretty strong. Kolaghan's Command, we need another land, but that's fine. I'm super tired tonight. It's actually quite a bit earlier than I normally finish. Got a early start. Gonna crash pretty hard after this. Heal Spellbound, Path to Exile. We're not particularly worried about Path yet. Nihil Spellbomb lets him draw extra cards. Does impact our game plan somewhat, but you can still delve through that, so I'm not really too concerned about the Spellbomb. Oh, great. I mean, for what it's worth, it is nice that we drew a land, but would have been much better to draw a fetch there. Could have got Shadow actually down. So same sort of situation here. We could potentially roll the angler here, but it's just not. I mean, again, if we had a fetch, we could roll the angler. So this could be a good turn if he lets us cycle this or get this into play. And we're just going to attack his white mana sources so he can't Supreme Verdict us. Ideally, so he can't Verdict us. Maximum value there. I think we probably just need to make him discard a card here to get him to crack the spell bomb. Yeah, so we're going to try and return target creature card from graveyard to hand. And do 2 damage to him, but we'll redirect it to Gideon. And he didn't actually fire it off, which is pretty entertaining. And at this point, I almost feel like we should just fire the Kolaghan's command off to kill the Gideon and make him discard a card. So going after another Fulminator Mage is somewhat appealing. Alrighty. You just let us cycle those. And he could have cracked the Nihil Spellbomb and made that a lot worse for us. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't care so much about that. Maybe that's not remotely necessary based on his hand. So opponent's gonna Thoughtseize this. I'm gonna assume he's gonna go after Fulminator Mage. It's possible he goes after the Street Wraith if he has a game plan in hand that makes the Fulminator Mage irrelevant. But I would imagine he's gonna go at the Mage. Give me just a moment here. So we just went for combat. He didn't actually block. We're going to play the Fulminator Mage. We can go at his white mana source. We know he still has a Watery Grave as one of his cards in hand. If he were to try and Snapcaster Supreme Verdict, I think we actually, I think we just got to fire this off now. We just don't want to let him either Snapcaster Supreme Verdict or Supreme Verdict outright. Sure. Stubborn would have been a lot stronger while that shadow was in play. So I hope he lets me. He's gonna. If he lets me get to block, this is just like. The mana. I mean, I'm not worried about his blue sources. Well, no, Stubborn Nile is no good right now. Okay, so we can. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I think we're actually just gonna have to kill the Snapcaster Mage here. And then the hope would be. Yeah. Now I wish I'd have saved my bolt. He hasn't really shown us any counter magic, I guess, and that was kind of my big concern. Playing around, killing the Snapcaster on my turn was just to. So we know we have a Serum Visions coming up. If he Esper Charms us during our draw step, I'm gonna cry. Suppose a Liliana would be really nice right now. Opponent's determining whether or not they're going to let our Serum Visions resolve. Gosh, this is so brutal. 3-7 in games tonight. So I played Grixis, Shadow Grixis in 3 leagues prior to tonight, and I'm a combined 11-4. Granted, I know I've made some mistakes tonight. Definitely made some misplays. I mean, seriously punted a game that I should have gone to 2-2 coming into this match. We're just gonna go bottom. At least this makes him have to ideally sacrifice his Liliana, though if he has a Fatal Push or a Snapcaster Mage. Ouchie. Creeping Tar Pit, okay, so it puts us on a 2-turn clock. Just down tick it, man. Just down tick it. Alright. That is going to be the match. There's no coming back from this. Short of that. I suppose if we top deck Bolt, this just makes me wish I'd have bolted. Well, I guess if I hadn't, I probably would have died by now. I think we already exiled away the old Kolaghan's commands. Yeah, so we're down to 2 bolts. Those are our outs. Here, boldy. I guess Serum Visions or Thought Scour gives us shots at him. That doesn't give us any shot. How close were we? Draw card. A little ways away. Alright, well, unfortunately tonight did not go well. It's been quite a while since I've had a 1-4. I keep track of all my matches, the data on them all, and short of playing some kind of less or some lower quality decks here and there. I mean, I think I had a 2-3 with Shadow Jund once in the last few months, but this is a little bit of a bummer, bit of a rough night. I mean, for what it's worth, as soon as I found out my recording wasn't going to work in the early part of the match, or the first match, everything was lagging out. I kind of just lost interest. I almost stopped and went and worked out. But I wanted to play for you guys because it's enjoyable for me to get to post matches for people to enjoy. But anyway, man, so frustrating.